I love you. How's everybody doing? I'm so happy to be here. I'm even happier that you're here. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I've done over 500 convention appearances. I love it, but I've done so many, and I will let you in on a little secret. Every time I'm scheduled to do a Q&A session, something in the back of my mind says, nobody's going to be there. Like, this is going to be the time that, you know, people are like, yeah, we've seen him. You know, check that box. You know what I mean? Like, we saw him last time. We don't need to go this time. And I'll be in here with like 2 people. So I say that because I want you to know how deeply grateful I am, no matter 500 or 1,000 conventions. Every time I come out and see that there are more than 2 people here, I am extremely, extremely grateful and humbled as well. It may surprise you to find out that I am no different than anybody else. I am no better or worse than any of you, and I consider it such an enormous gift to get to meet you and interact with you guys. One of the reasons that I've done so many conventions over the years is because, you know, when you record voiceover, you're alone in a box, a padded box. And so if you're playing a character that's supposed to be funny, nobody's laughing. There's nobody there, you know, you're alone. And if you're doing a scene that's supposed to be heart-wrenching and powerful and sad, nobody's there, you know, crying or wiping the tears, going, oh my God, that was so beautiful. So you don't really know how what you're doing is going to come through. So from the very beginning, one of the things that I really loved about doing conventions was to get the chance to interact with people and get feedback from them on shows that they liked, or characters they enjoyed, or scenes that meant a lot to them. And I'll tell you what, over the years, I have been so enormously blessed to have been a part of things, of some different projects that meant a lot to a lot of people. That's rare. You know, you could spend your whole life in a particular career, and you would do your job, and you would get paid, and you would be good at your job, and you'd pay your bills, you know what I mean? But to have the chance to play a character in a show that means a lot to people, much less 5, 6, 10, 15 characters over the years that people have enjoyed. I am truly grateful beyond words. I can't even. I always think, I've said this before, you know, I don't want to keep repeating myself, because if you've watched any videos online and you've heard things that I've said in the past, you're like, oh yeah, I heard him say that. Yeah, he said that. Well, that's because it's true, you know, and it's the same truth that's in my heart every time I come out here to talk to anyone in any city, in any country. I want you guys to know that. I said something I started saying something at panels, and I don't even know why. About 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, I started to say, oh look, I've got a bunch of cable, good. It's the first thing I look at when I come on stage is how long is the mic cord? Like, how far can I have a seat, madam? We have a senior citizens row here. No, we don't. Here, this is for you right here. You want to sit here? Everybody say hi to Barb.
Hi, matriarch.
AKA my mother. Mi madre. Come here. Come here. They can't hear you, so here. What were you just saying to them?
I just said so glad to see everybody. Twitter or Facebook, I sign matriarch all the time, so I know I've talked to a lot of you guys.
Another fancy word for mother.
Yeah.
Madonna. Mi madre. Take a load off. Have a seat. Go get me a drink. That was a joke. Someone will go home. Vic's such a jerk. Oh my gosh, I heard he was a jerk, but I didn't know until he made his mom go get him booze. Never happened. Never happened. I was thinking of something funny upstairs. I don't want to get off on this. Stop me, mother. It didn't work. Here we go. So, can I borrow you, Faye? So, over the last several months, come here. When I take pictures with people, pretend this guy right here is taking our picture. Ready? I've been doing this. Do you see what I'm doing? You see this? I'm not touching, I'm not hugging. We know why, right? We understand why. Now thank you, Faye. Give it up for Faye. I was just doing that upstairs, and I had the funniest thought. About a month and a half or two ago, maybe even longer, maybe 2.5 or 3 months, when I started doing that, there are haters online. They're like, oh, look, he's not even really touching them. Like, make up your mind, will you? I'm sorry, I don't mean to get off on a soapbox, but I'm going to. You know, most people have lives. Most people have jobs and relationships, family, responsibilities, hobbies. And then there are those handful of people that just have too much time on their hands. I can't even imagine. Do you even have a job if you tweet 100 times a day? I want you to think, how do you even do that? You know what I mean?
You get fired every week.
I work from home. I hired myself. I pay myself really good. And, you guys,
We love you, Vic!
I'm going to tell you something. I know there are a lot of cameras rolling right now, so you have to be very careful, as you know.
Like that old saying, once it's in Vegas, what you do in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I don't think it's a Rochester thing, though. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. What happens in Rochester goes everywhere. You guys,
Take your time, Vic.
every single thing that I have ever done in my career related to fans and interactions has been out of love and affection. It is that simple. My motivation has only ever been to express kindness and appreciation and warmth and love. And you know what? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that was great. I've had people call me. I've had other people in the industry call me and say, I can't believe what is happening in the world. Things that were never a problem for decades are suddenly vilified. And suddenly you have some twisted, distorted, evil motivation for everything you do and say. What happened to people? What happened to people that they just look for things to be offended about? And they look for things to be outraged about and complain and yell and picket and boycott. For God's sake! I'm sorry, do you understand where I'm coming from here? Do you understand how much better a world that it would be if people were like, I don't want to destroy you. I have no desire to hurt you. I don't want to cause you trouble. I would like to live my life and enjoy my friends and maybe have a nice relationship and find love and accomplish things with my work and have hobbies or things that I love and talents and any 1,000 different things you can fill your life with. Instead of literally making it your goal to destroy people. Because you think it's funny. Or worse, because you're so desperately lonely, because you feel so insignificant that you have to do anything to get attention. You know, this lovely girl here, Faye, I'm going to borrow her again for this example. You know, I could go home tonight and say, I met this girl at this convention, and she was so rude, and she told me that I was a jerk and she hated all my work, and she only came here to tell me that I shouldn't even be in the industry, I should die and go to hell. Now, I could do that, couldn't I? And no one could stop me from going home and sitting behind my screen name on my computer. You don't even know where I live. I mean, you see what I'm saying? You don't even know my full name. Hypothetically. I'm just somebody out there, and I decide to take a shot at her. And if I'm so obsessed with just having attention, it wouldn't even matter to me that I destroyed this girl. You know what would matter to me? Woohoo! 25 people saw my post. 25 people liked my post. Where did that come from? You know, I'm a Christian, and I am never, ever going to apologize for that. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm not trying to convert anybody. Please hear my heart. I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm just sharing with you my life and my heart. And everything like that, I kind of filter through my faith, and I think, where does that kind of stuff come from? Well, if you think about it, it probably comes from a sense of insecurity, from a sense of not feeling worth much. How many of you have ever been bullied? Oh my gosh, look around. That's got to be 80%. Do you know why people bully other people? Because they don't like themselves much. They don't like themselves, they don't think they're worth much, nobody pays any attention, and so they do things to get attention, to make themselves feel powerful. If they put you down, that makes them better. No, it doesn't. That's a lie. And yet, somewhere along the way, people got it in their minds that some people like that to put you down makes them better. But it doesn't. It just makes everybody down. And I think that's where our culture is. Social media in particular has allowed people to sit behind the privacy and the protection of their computer at home and their screen names and ruin you from 3,000 miles away and never have to prove anything, do anything, be accountable. Thank you, matriarch. When I was standing up here a second ago, I started to say something and then I got off track. I started to say that 2.5 or 3 years ago, I started saying something in panels like this. Remember I said that? Yeah. And I never finished that thought. I just remembered that I never finished it. So now I'm gonna finish it. I started saying the following sentence. If this all ended tomorrow, I have already been more blessed than I ever deserved. Little did I know what the future was going to hold. But you know what? If I believe what I say I believe, then I have to believe that there's somebody in charge of all this, you know? And I want you to know that more than ever, I am so deeply grateful for you guys.
You got your back, man.
I would say I love you, but that could be misconstrued.
We love you!
I love you. I'll do it anyway. So I just want you guys to know my heart. I have such gratitude and such affection for all of you and the work that I've had the chance to do over the 20 years I've been voice acting. Teresa and David down here, I met you how long ago? My goodness.
2007.
2007.
Been a ranger since then.
Wow, I love you. I love your shirt, David. You sexy beast. Now somebody's gonna go back. Vic said you were to have sex with this guy in the front row. No, I didn't. Control yourselves. That's not what I said. Just being friendly. I've known Dave a long time. He's a good friend.
An arm and a leg, though.
No Full Metal joke there. I like that. But I just want to repeat what I said a few minutes ago. Everything I have ever done toward anyone, ever, has been out of love and affection. I have never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever,
Ever?
ever done or said anything with any motivation but appreciation and gratitude and kindness and love.
It shows.
So I just want you to know that's my heart. That has always been my heart. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I know it, and I tell myself, don't get serious. Don't talk about serious stuff. They're here to have fun. Don't talk about serious stuff. And then I can't help it. I get here and I just can't help it. So I'm gonna stop now. Okay, and if I say something serious again, Pennywise, I want you to kill me. I give you permission to kill me. There's probably somebody in the room going, please say something serious. Please say something serious. I want to get video of Pennywise killing Vic. Let's see, what can I tell you guys that I'm doing right now? Surviving. That's always good, right? But you guys are such, go home. If any of you doubt for 1 second that you are worth very much, if any of you ever find yourself in a dark time, in a place where you feel like, man, nobody would even care if I disappeared tomorrow, you know what I mean? I don't really mean much. I want you to remember right here, right now, when I told you how important you guys have been to my life. I have spent the last 15 years listening to you tell me how much my work helped you through a difficult time. How ironic that now it is your opportunity to help me through a difficult time. I just thought about that. That's interesting, isn't it? You guys have that power, so don't ever think that you don't, you're not important or that you don't have some significance. This guy right here, my friend here, stand up, let him see how awesome you are. This guy, you're awesome too, you're next. This guy came from Amsterdam. Just to be an encouragement. So I hope no one is expecting you to return because I'm taking you home with me to be an encouragement every day. I'll just put you in the closet. I'll put a sign, encouragement closet. And I go, hey, hit me. You're the best! Thank you. I'll see you later. I'll send some macaroni and cheese in. Thank you. If you see him walking around, tell him hello and thank him for his kindness to me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Would somebody please hold Pennywise down because I'm getting ready to say something serious.
We're here
careful.
Is it okay with you guys if I say some serious stuff?
Yeah.
I know that there's somebody in here going, I just want to talk about anime. Please do the coffee line. Here's what I want to tell you. Or the donut story. Shut up. Here's what I want to tell you guys. And it's very important to me that you hear this.
No more serious stuff.
I'm no different than you are. And what I mean by that is this. I have always struggled with a sense of value, of self-worth. And that struggle can sometimes drive you to do dumb things. Now, is there anyone in here who would dare to deny that you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I think we all, if you're past
Deny?
9 years
No,
old,
I'm
you've
gonna
done
do my
something
plans way
stupid.
down.
Everybody here has made mistakes, has done things for the wrong reasons, or they said something they regret, or they did something like, oh, why did I do that? I'm so dumb. And hopefully you learn and you grow. And I want you guys to know I'm no different. No one in this industry, no one on the planet Earth is any different. You pick the biggest movie star in the world, pick the biggest figure, pick anybody, any politician, teachers, movie stars, music stars. I guarantee you, they all struggle with exactly the same things you do. Maybe they've had different opportunities, or maybe they've had some doors open for them, or whatever. Maybe they've had a stroke of good luck with something, but they struggle, as do I, with the same sense of lack of value and lack of self-worth. And it's that attitude that actually even drives some of these people to some of these behaviors. But we're all in this together. We're all, you know what I mean? We're all the same. We all struggle with these things. So don't think that because I say something, it's any more important or any more true than if you said it.
We're all human.
Yeah, we are. And sometimes people forget that. You know what I
We
mean?
are all imperfect humans.
Sometimes people who throw the most rocks live in the biggest glass houses, and they really shouldn't be doing that. You know? I mean, they better hope and pray that nobody decides to target them with the same vitriol that they target others, you know? But, you know, I'm just very grateful. I keep coming back to that, don't I? Are you sensing a theme here? I'm so grateful to all of you. I'm grateful to Alicia, who puts on RocCon. Let's give her a round of applause. I have been attending this convention on and off for years. I love it, and I'm so grateful to her for having me, and so grateful to you guys for being here.
Keep coming, Vic. Yes.
I will come if I'm invited. I will be there, and
Well,
I
that's how we'll invite you again.
there you go. There you go. Good idea. Let's do it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Interesting life, isn't it? Interesting. Life is interesting. What? What is something without a few setbacks? You got that right, dog. You got that right. In fact, oh my gosh, you just reminded me of something that I think you guys will really enjoy. I was in Japan years ago, and I was talking with some producers there, anime producers. And we got on the subject of why so many anime series don't have an ending. Because I want closure, right? I want so-and-so going to get together with so-and-so? Is this person going to make it out of the cave alive? Are they ever going to make it to where they're going? Can we please have an ending, right? So I was talking to this anime producer in Japan, through a translator, of course. And I asked him, I'm like, why is it that so many anime series just kind of stop? They don't have an ending. And he said, through the translator, the most profound thing that what you just said reminds me of. You know what he said? What? He said, because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I was like, doggone it, you're smart. Of course. I love that. So we are on this journey together. We may not see each other every day, but we've shared connection and conversation. And this time we have together for this hour. And we share that you're part of my journey now. And I'm part of yours, sorry. But I'm honored to be. So, who's got a question they want to start us with? Yes. Riley.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that crazy that I remembered your name?
Yes.
Kind of crazy.
So, pardon me, but some of us have 4,000 pounds of makeup on our face, and you're making us all cry.
I'm sorry. You're not crying.
Yes, I was.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
No, because you're so touching, and you're so caring for all of the fans. You know, I went to a con years ago. I was only like 6, and I went up to this guy, and he was like this big anime speaker. And when I went up to him, I hugged him, and then when I turned around and walked away, he said, God, I really want this to end. All these nose pickers are in my space now. And it crushed me. I thought I'd never meet another voice actor, but when I saw what you do and what you are, I was like, this is like the perfect guy.
Thank you. Thank you. There are a lot of those people in the world. In fact, there are a lot of people in the industry.
Like her.
Who literally, no, I mean, there are people in the anime, in the voice acting industry, who just do it because they got hired to do it.
Cry.
They don't really care, you know what I mean? They don't really, it's a job, you know? They need to pay their bills, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they just doesn't mean much more than that.
And by the way, thank you for the flowers.
Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. And I mean, I've done plenty of conventions with people that are like, I mean, they're signing for an hour, 58, 59, 60, I'm gone. You know, like they want it to be done as quick as possible, and they, you know, get in the elevators, and they just want to be left alone. That ain't me. That is definitely not me. In fact, you know what, you guys, everything that I've ever done, like all of the hugging and the kisses on the forehead and whatever, have all been out of love and enthusiasm. I have never had any kind of nefarious intentions, ever. And there are, unfortunately, people that tend to twist your actions or your behaviors or your words in some way. But I can promise you right here and right now, I have only ever just loved every interaction. And you know why, by the way, Riley? Do you know why I would never say that kind of thing or have that kind of attitude about, Kim, you don't want to be around these nose pickers any longer? You know why that's never going to be me? It never has been and it never will be. Because when I was 9 and 10 and 12 and 13 and 14, matriarch back there used to take me to Star Trek conventions. I used to dress up in my own little Star Trek uniforms that I made myself, and my mom would take me and drop me off at Star Trek conventions. Point is, I'm one of you. That's the point. The point is that I love all this nerd geek stuff. I mean, really, I mean, you are in good company. If I were not having to sit at the table and sign, I would be in the vendor's hall spending all my money. I always try to find 10 minutes just to walk around a little bit, look for a cool Star Trek shirt, or something that is kind of cool. A couple weeks ago, I was walking through the dealer's room. I had 10 minutes in between signings, and I'm walking around just looking at the stuff, and I see a lot of the same stuff, obviously, from convention to convention. And then I saw a replica of the Holy Grail from Indiana Jones, right? And I was like, I want that. And I bought it, and I took it home. Did anyone see the video? I don't know why I thought it would be fun to drink wine out of the Holy Grail. But it seems like a cool idea, right, Faye? I mean, if you're gonna drink out of a glass, it might as well be the greatest glass ever, right? So I made a video of me pouring a little red wine into my Holy Grail and drinking it, and then I was like, I have chosen wisely. But I mean, point is, I'm a big nerd like all the rest of you, and so I will never be the kind of person that's like, get me away from it, smells so bad.
One more thing.
Go home.
One more thing
There's
before
that
you
kind of an
go.
attitude. I hate that. I'm sorry. I hate that. Every person those people meet is a beautiful, beautiful human being. You know what I mean? That God created special, and they deserve as much dignity and respect as anyone else does. Yes.
But one more thing.
Yes.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh yes. We actually met at Torah, and before this, it was oh, here we go. No, don't cry. It's okay. Before that, before I met her, I was very in a stuck place. It was the most darkest thing I've ever been through in my life. I had just gotten broken up. It was horrible. She had stolen all of my money. All of my credit cards were just damaged and everything. And I met her, and she changed everything around. I had written a note that I would not be here today, and I tore it up because of her. Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
That is so
God.
beautiful.
Oswald.
That is so beautiful. Those are the kind of good things that need to happen to people. You know, not the bad things. That kind of goodness. Question? Yes. Uh-oh. He's got his mom recording. Pennywise, get ready.
Okay, so what was it like voicing Rohan in Diamonds Unbreakable? And the second question after you answer, could you do Rohan's voice for me?
I love Rohan. You know, for years, I would see all this cool cosplay at conventions, and I would be like, hey, that's really cool. What are you wearing? What's that from? And they're like, JoJo! Say. And then I would see another character, and there's a style, right? There's a specific style to the look of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And so, what, pardon?
I love it.
I know, me too. It's the coolest thing. So it's got such a cool art style. And so when I got cast to play Rohan, I was so excited because I loved JoJo without ever even being part of it or even really knowing too much about it except for the art style. But I loved Rohan. He was really, really fun to play. Absolutely. Question? Yes, sir. Yes.
Since you've inspired me.
Michael?
Michael. Yes,
Wow.
it's me. Michael.
I haven't gone senile yet. But it's coming. I'm sure it's coming.
Anyway,
Hey, man. Yes.
and since you've inspired me to be a voice actor, I've always been studying and practicing in my basement because that's where it's always quiet.
Sure.
And I just wondered, what comes to you when all of a sudden, let's say back when you were cast as Broly for the first time, what did you do to find that voice? And please don't do it. I don't want you to hurt your
Thank
voice.
you.
I can do it for you if you want to pretend. No, just kidding. You know, and what did you do to find this voice of Broly?
Well, you know, with Broly in particular, I mean, you need only look at him to see, you know, the kind of voice, you know. You can't really picture Kakarot! You know? I'm gonna destroy Hey, cat, you're right. No, it just doesn't really fit him.
It goes like this. It goes like this. Kakarot!
Exactly. Exactly. So some characters are drawn in such a way that you're like, oh my gosh, like this guy needs to be as dark and low and angry as I can make him. And so I did that, and then even after I did that, they lowered my voice another semitone, which is the equivalent of a half step in music. So they just lowered it a little bit to give it a little bit more low weight to it and gravitas. One of the things I loved about the new Broly was
You've reached your limit, Vic.
I'm at the end of my rope. One of the things I loved about the new Broly was that they told me, look, we don't need you to do that. Because he's a different character. So he didn't have to sound that same way. And I was really grateful for that. Because yelling is not as bad in your own voice as it is yelling and fighting in a low, where you're pushing it really down low in a real chesty kind of, that'll hurt. And it hurts quickly and for a long time.
Yes. I love the switch of the new Broly. It's just this one point where you're keeping this calm Broly. He's so kind.
Yeah.
But except he has this power that takes over him.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about this new Broly.
Yeah, me too.
It
I
makes
loved
me
it.
I feel like I want to help him.
Yes!
I want to calm him down.
Yes! You actually feel sympathy for him. Because his dad jerks him around, you know what I mean? And his dad's controlling, and he just is this quiet, like, doesn't really know what's, you know, I miss Ba. You know, Ba was my friend.
He reminds
I
me,
love that scene.
I just see you in him.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Broly off the steroids. I'm Broly, no juice. I'm just natural. Yes.
Is there an anime that you had fun with?
Oh my gosh, all of them. Can't you tell? You know, I have loved everything that I've ever done, and some things to a greater degree than others, obviously. But I never set out to be a voice actor. I was doing a lot of theater, acting, and musicals, and all that kind of stuff. And somebody encouraged me to audition for this little studio in Houston that dubbed anime. And I went and auditioned. I didn't really know what I was doing. I had no idea that anything would ever come of it. But I auditioned and I got cast, and it just kept growing from there. So from the very, very beginning, I have always so deeply enjoyed everything that I got to do. It's really been a fun career. You don't have to memorize your lines. That's nice, right? You don't have to put on a costume or makeup, or even clothes for that matter. I mean, go to the studio in your pajamas, who cares, right? I mean, I don't mean naked. There's the next one. Somebody's gonna go back to Twitter and go, Vic Mignogna said he likes to record naked. No, I didn't.
We have proof that you did it.
Anyway, I have loved everyone. Ed's probably my favorite. Tamaki is a very close second place. I do love Uncle Crow. So I do love Crow. I like Crow because he's really simple. You know, there's no yelling, and it's not so much of a strain on the voice.
It's just brooding.
Yeah, you just drop it down low like that. Ruby, where's my vodka? Yeah, that was fun. Somebody's like, oh, what's it like playing a drunk? You're like, I don't even know. I've never been drunk, but I think the key to playing a drunk is to act like you're not drunk. You know what I mean? You know, like when you've had a little bit too much to drink, And you're thinking, I wonder if I'm compromised right now. I wonder if anybody can tell that I've been drinking. I'm gonna work really hard to articulate my words. Yes.
Can you do Rohan's voice a little bit for us?
Can I do Rohan's voice? I don't remember. Give me a line. Give me a line that Rohan said. What's something he said?
Sorry, but I refuse.
Sorry, but I refuse. He's kind of pompous, you know what I mean? Kind of arrogant and pompous. Yes, my dear. She's like, I'm so small, no one's ever gonna call on me. Wrong. Darn it, now I have to ask a question. By the way, you're sitting next to the most amazing shirt in this building. Yes, ma'am, what is your question? Edward Eric? Can I repeat what? One of his short rants? You don't want that. Nobody likes those. Nobody likes those. I'm quite sure. You know what's funny? Stop your peer pressure. You know what's funny? You know what's funny? There are so many powerful, moving, emotional moments in Full Metal Alchemist. And every single person's like, do a short rant! What about one of the quiet, you know? What about Ed being really quiet and wanting to talk to his brother Al about getting their bodies back? No, do a short rant! They always want me to yell and scream. What's that all about? I don't know. Can you do one for me? Oh, I think you can. Come here. Come here. Keep coming. Come on. Who's the best girl?
Oh no, she stepped on my cord!
What's your name?
Liana.
Say hi to Liana. Liana and I are going to do a little experiment. I want you, in your best imitation of Edward Elric from Full Metal, right? You're going to remember. I want you to say, who are you calling a pipsqueak midget? You remember that, right?
Yes.
That's okay. Just pretend you're really angry that somebody called you short, right? And I want you to say, who are you calling a pipsqueak midget? Ready? Go.
Who are you calling a pipsqueak?
Don't encourage her yet. She needs to work harder. I want you to get really loud and angry, okay?
Bailey's bothering you right now.
There you go.
Who are you calling a pipsqueak midget?
No, she's laughing. No. No. Come up here. See, do you see her doing this? She's trying to get away. These doors are locked. You can't escape. Okay, let's do it one more. And I want you to like triple your volume. And instead of this, who are you calling it? Don't smile. Who you calling? Right? See the difference? Here we go.
Who are you calling a pipsqueak midget?
Better. Okay, but this is an educational panel as well as entertaining. It's entertaining and educational. Now that time, this is what you did. Listen, you went, who are you calling a pipsqueak midget? And you kind of died out at the end, right? I want you to push it through the roof at the end. Instead of doing this, do that. Ready? Go.
Who are you calling a pipsqueak midget?
And you know what, Liana? Here is your reward. Who are you calling a pipsqueak midget? Now here's how that one's going to be twisted on Facebook and Twitter. They're going to remove the audio so it just looks like I'm screaming at this little girl. And what a jerk, look at him yelling at that girl. And then they'll make up a whole story. She asked him to sign Yowie, and so he was yelling at her, or something like that, you know? But there are a lot of you in this room, so make sure you set the record straight, okay? All the way in the back, yes. My dear maid. Oh no, yes, you. Yes. Come forward. Bring your tray.
I swear, this
Don't ask him to curtsy. Hey, you told me you couldn't do it.
is a lot of curtsies. I've returned to the curtsying, okay?
He has returned to the curtsy. Turn around so everybody can see you. What's your question, man? Woman? Man? Waitress?
Manly
Do
man.
you have a character name?
Nope, just called Dare. Dare.
Oh, this is a dare? Who dared you?
Actually, she was at the convention last year.
Wait, she dared you and she's not here?
It's called video evidence.
Plenty of video evidence, I think.
Actually, she was the one who accused me of not liking women. So in order to prove it, I dressed up as the most elegant of women.
And you know, you had me, except for the beard, probably.
Let me explain.
Just kidding. I was kidding.
I'm a Beardsley, that's my last name. I'm the only Beardsley with an actual beard, so I can't get rid of it. I'm sorry.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so what's your question?
So I have two parts. One is, it has to do with the Edward Elric thing. So I'm actually a voice actor in training, and my knees are shaking right now, oh no. I'm a voice actor in training, and I voiced two characters so far. Both of them were kind of based on characters you did. I did one named Ruin Roswell, who sadly, nothing's been released yet, sadly, for just a random animation. The other one was Shadow Sprite, who's another character from a similar animation done by the same people. Sadly, both of them are unreleased so far. Why? Why must they take so long? But I wanted to ask, what do you think of the two characters? And I'm going to do an example of them.
Okay.
So Shadow Sprite is something along the lines of kind of like Broly and Crow mixed up a bit. Who do you think you are?
Nice.
And then Ruin Roswell. Ruin Roswell is actually my favorite.
Oh my, we have quite the predicament here. Time to get started. What are the name of these projects?
Actually, I don't even know. They legit have not named it. It was a friend of mine who was originally doing it, and he just asked me to do some voices. So I'm
Okay,
like,
well, when you find out the title, go on the RocCon website and tell everybody the name of the band, you know? Curtsing again. And thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Give him a hand.
Just saying that Vic got me into voice acting, so.
No, that's not true.
It was my dream job all growing up because of Tamaki Suo, and not really Bully, because I didn't watch him very much. I didn't watch him, mostly my parents didn't let me. But a lot of the characters you did had that kind of upper voice and then lower voice.
Thank you. You are a beautiful bearded commoner. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, when you find out the name of those projects, put it online so the people here that met you can find out how to see and hear your work, okay? That was good. It was good. Yes.
So Steve Blumman's talked about having to transfer your headspace in terms of like characters you might not necessarily share worlds with.
Ooh, that's a good
In
one.
terms of like your career, what's been the most difficult like character for you to relate to or to get into the headspace of?
That's a great question. What is happening? Oh, gotcha. You know, there are a lot of characters. The question was, how do you get in the headspace to play a character with whom you do not share a lot of the same values or attitudes? that has certainly been the case for me in a lot of cases. But I mean, it's just a matter of, it's really kind of just, that's what acting is, you know? It's kind of reminding yourself that I'm this character. I'm not me. I'm this character, and this character acts like this, and this character had, Edward Elric is a perfect example. I mean, Ed's kind of agnostic, kind of, you know, not real big on the whole religion, God thing. But that's not me, but that's okay, because that's what acting is, you know? It's not, I played another character named Kurtz Weber in Full Metal Panic. And you know, Kurtz had some profanity, and people would say like, oh, well, you know, how can you say stuff like that? You're supposed to be this Christian guy. Yeah, well, that wasn't me saying it. It was Kurtz Weber. That was Kurtz talking, not me. And you know, let me say something real quick about that. About my faith. Because I believe a certain thing or have a certain faith, doesn't mean that I don't screw up. Can we all just understand that? You know, just because I believe something doesn't mean that I'm perfect. And it doesn't mean that I don't literally go against the very thing that I say. Do you know, does everybody know who the Apostle Paul was? The Apostle Paul wrote probably half the New Testament. And it was all his letters to different churches that he visited. Like Philippians, the book of Philippians, was a letter written to the people in the town of Philippi. And the Corinthians lived in Corinth. And Galatians were in Galatia. And Romans was written to the people in Rome. The Apostle Paul said something once in a verse that always stuck with me. Now listen to this. He literally wrote this. It's in the Bible. You ready? The things that I want to do, I don't do. And the things that I don't want to do, I end up doing. Now that's not me saying that. That's arguably one of the greatest, you know, Christian missionaries who ever lived. And if he struggled with that kind of thing, then you and I are bound to struggle with the same thing. So for people to say, oh, well, I can't believe he does this or he said that, he's supposed to be this. Yeah, I am a Christian and I'm an idiot too. Just like everybody else, right? If you catch us at the wrong time, we are all hypocrites. Can we agree? I'm not putting you down because I'm throwing myself right in there with you. All of us do and say things that are inconsistent with who we want to be. All of us. So it doesn't make sense to point fingers at people or to put them down because you struggle with the same thing. The only difference is you don't have 50 cameras on you at all times. And every word you say, and you know what I mean? That kind of spotlight is going to reveal plenty of imperfections. Plenty. Yes, my dear.
I've heard about the work that you've done in Pokemon, and I was wondering, do you have a favorite?
A favorite Pokemon?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry to say my favorite Pokemon is mine. I like Keldeo. You know, he's my favorite. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I do.
What is it?
It's Bryson.
That's my second favorite. You know, honestly, I didn't know a great deal about Pokemon. I mean, of course, I knew Pikachu and the idea of Pokemon, but I never watched it. And then when they asked me if I wanted to play a role, I was like, yeah, I mean, Pokemon is iconic. You know, you don't have to watch it to know that it had a big impact on anime. So I like him. He's my favorite. Okay, we have 2 minutes. Yes. You look amazing. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I just said we have about 2 minutes. I must have bumped a button on my phone because Siri just said, I don't understand, okay, we have 2 minutes. But I could search the web for it. No need. Yes?
So my question was, I don't know if I'm going to ask this before, but I was wondering when you did the scene with Nina Taco when she got turned into the...
scene with Nina was, that was one of the first moments that I realized that Full Metal was not your average anime. I mean, by that time I had done hundreds of shows, but nothing with that kind of, you know. I saw that, I'm like, whoa, wow. That's quite a gutsy move to do that. I didn't cry because it was still pretty early in the show. That was like the third episode or something, was when they met Nina and what happened with her. So I was still kind of new to the character and the story and the setting. But by the time we got 8 or 9 episodes in, I was fully invested. And if there was something heartwarming and moving and powerful and sad or emotional, I was right there. I mean, I held back a lot of tears in Full Metal. But yeah, that scene with Nina was the first thing that made me think, wow, this is quite a show, quite a show. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say that I'm sorry this has happened to you.
Oh.
We're all behind you, and thank you for taking on this burden. And you will get through it.
Thank you.
And things will get better, as they probably are now.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice to live here all the time. You guys, my time is up, and I need to make way for the cosplay contest, but I'm heading back to my table. Let me just say this real quick, before I lose you. Thank you for being such an encouragement. Thank you for being... Thank you for being so supportive and kind and encouraging. Listen, guys, there's a lot of hate in the world. Be a voice for good. Be a voice out there for positive and encouragement and goodness. And if I haven't met you yet, please come upstairs and say hi. And even if I have met you, come back up and say hi, okay? Thank you guys for coming. Love you all.